Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Math Made Easy with Terry in 10 minutes. Today we're going to talk about the point slope form. This is the y minus y1 mx minus x1, okay? So this is the second type of equation of a line. Before you go into this, make sure you review the previous video, which is the slope-intercept form, because that is the general form of equation of a line, but there are other ways you can write it, and I'm going to talk about each and every one of them. So like I always say, before you proceed, make sure you review the previous videos, okay, in the series, and ensure you understood them before you go into these ones, okay? And also, if you've not subscribed, I don't know what you're waiting for, click on the subscription button and also click on notification bell. So when I post new videos, you'll be the first person to know. Now, this point slope form, okay, this is the form that is used when you have only one point and one slope. Okay, so this is you use this form, okay? So this form is used when we have both, okay? You have one point, so that means one point was given. So that means you have your x1 and your y1, and also you are given what? The slope or gradient, which is the m. Is that okay? So if the question gives you just one point, the x1, y1, and a slope, then you then have to use this, which is the y minus y1 is equal to mx minus x1. Okay, where m is equal to the slope or gradient. Okay, then you have the x1 and the y1 is equal to the what? The given point. So you only use this where you have one point and the slope of the gradient is given. But one of the things that you have to remember is that when you're done, you have to simplify and rewrite it back to the slope-intercept form. That is the y is equal to mx plus c. So that was the reason why I had to start with the y equal to mx plus c, because that will be the bedrock of most of the forms of what? The equation of a line. So I'm going to write it here so that you can also take note of it. Remember, you have to simplify and rewrite it as y is equal to mx plus c. So that means this is the what? Slope-intercept form. So I've talked about this in the previous video, okay? So you need to rewrite this back as a slope-intercept what? Form. All right, so what do you do? The first thing to do, let's talk about the three rules or the three steps on how to solve this. Okay, how do you solve questions like this? Number one, you have to first identify the m, that is the slope, and the given point, x1 and y1. Okay, when you're done with that, the next thing you have to do is that you have to then substitute the above, that means the m1, the m, the x1 and y1. So you have to substitute the above into the formula. Okay, so the formula is y minus y1 is equal to mx minus what? X1. When you've done, number three, you expand the brackets. Okay, you simplify and make y the subject of the formula. Okay, so that means you now rearrange to, so basically I'm just saying that what you have to do, you have to rearrange to the slope-intercept form, which is y is equal to mx plus c. Is that okay? And like I told you, the y must be alone. All right, the y must be alone. All right, so let's pick an example. So the first thing you have to do, you have to identify your m, your x1, y1. You have to then substitute it into the formula, y minus y1, m into bracket x minus x1. Then you now expand the bracket, okay? So let's pick an example, all right? Let's see what we can do. Number one, it says find the equation of the line with gradients minus 3 that passes through the point 4 and minus 5. Okay? Now let's assume we have this question. It said find the equation of a line with gradient minus 3 that passes through the points 4 and minus 5. So you can see in this, we only have 1 point and 1 slope. So you can see we only have 1 point, which is 4 and minus 5, and we have 1 slope, which is the gradient, which is minus 3. Then we have to use this method then. The first thing we have to do is to identify the m and the x1, y1. So the m is equal to what? Minus 3. The x1 is equal to 4. And the y1 is equal to what? Minus 5. Step 2, when we are done, you substitute the above into the formula. Y minus y1 is equal to mx minus x1. So we have y minus y1 is equal to mx minus x1. It's going to be y minus y1 is minus 5. It's equal to m is minus 3. X minus x1 is what? 4. The next step, step 3, we're now told when you're done, you need to expand the brackets, simplify, and make y the subject of the formula. All right, so we're going to expand the bracket. So it's going to be minus times minus to give you plus. So it's going to be y plus 5 is equal to minus 3 times x will give us minus 3x. Minus 3 times minus 4 will give us what? Plus 12. We'll take 5 to the other side, okay? It's going to give us y is equal to minus 3x plus 12 minus 5. And that y will be giving you minus 3x plus 12 minus 5 will give you what? Plus 7. So that means this is the what? The equation of the line for this. Okay? And that will be the equation of the line for that. So that means you can see for the equation of the line, we have to start with the point slope form, but we have to go back and end up in the slope intercept form. All right, so let's pick another example. Let's say we have this example 2, all right? So let's assume we have this example and we're told to find it. So number 2 said if a line, okay, if a line with gradients or slope 4 passes through the point 5, 8, what is the line equation? Okay, if a line with gradient or slope 4 passes through the point 5, 8, what is the line equation? Same thing, you only have 1 slope and 1 point. So the first thing, like we said, we then have to identify the m and the x1, y1. So you see, in the point slope form, it's only when you have one slope or gradient and 1 point, then you use this. All right. So let's identify the m. The m is equal to 4. The x1 is equal to 5. And the y1 is going to equal to what? 8. Step 2, we're told to substitute the above into the formula. Y minus y1 is equal to mx minus x1. So let's go. It's going to give us y minus y1 is equal to mx minus x1. So give you y minus 8 is equal to m is 4, 4x minus 5. Okay. Step 3, what was told now is that we have to then expand the bracket, we'll simplify, and make y the subject of the formula. So we'll expand, we'll simplify, and we'll make y the subject of the formula. So basically, we want to have it in the form of y is equal to mx plus c. All right? So we're going to have this. We have y minus 8 is equal to 4x minus 5. Y minus 8 is equal to 4 times x will give us 4x. 4 times minus 5 will give us minus 20. Take 8 to the other side. Y will be equal to 4x minus 20 plus 8. Are you seeing that? So that will give us y will be equal to 24x minus 20 plus 8 will give us minus 12. And then this is the equation for these as well. Okay, so basically, every time you have one slope and 1 point, you use the y minus y1, mx minus x1, expand it, simplify, and that will give you that. So let me pick the last one for this, okay, so that I can go to the next form. So let's assume we have this question. It said, what is the equation of a line with gradients? So with a gradient of 4, okay, that passes through the origin. That passes through the origin. All right, step 1. Now, this is very simple. It said passes through the origin. So if you remember the coordinate system, I told you origin, the coordinates for origin is what? 0, what? 0. Okay? So that means my x1 is what? 0. My y1 is what? 0. The gradient of 4, so m is equal to what? 4. Then we can apply the formula now. Okay? We know y minus y1 is equal to mx minus what? x1. So that'll give you y minus 0 is equal to 4x minus 0. Step 3, we're told to then expand and we write it in the form of y is equal to mx plus c. So that'll give us y minus 0 is equal to 4x minus 0. 4y minus 0 will give us 4 times x will give us 4x minus 0. Then y will be equal to what? 4x. And that will be the answer for that. So that means in this case now we can say the c is equal to 0 because it's the same thing as saying y is equal to 4x plus 0 because it's the same thing as saying y is equal to mx plus c. All right? So yeah. So that is that for that. All right, so that is it. So anytime you have one slope, okay, and one gradient, you then use the y is equal to y minus y1, x minus what? x1. So y minus y1, mx minus x1. And always know that this only applies to 1 point and the slope or gradient of the line was given. I'll go to the next one, which is going to be the 2-point form. Okay. So like I said, we've talked about the slope-intercept form. We talked about the point-slope form. Now we're talking about the 2-point form, all right? So please don't forget, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me or reach out and I'll get back to you. And don't forget to subscribe and also click on the notification bell. So when I post the next video, you'll be the first person to know. All right. So I'll see you in the next video where we'll talk about the 2-point form. All right. See you soon.